Well, here we are with Vacuous Perspective. I'm Val, joined always by Nate.
That's me.
Nate,
How you going?
what's going on?
Yeah, not much. Just I was a little bit late jumping on, eating a couple of enchiladas.
Oh, you're having some enchiladas.
Yeah. Oh, not bad.
Yeah, Taco Tuesday.
Well, I had nachos last Tuesday. Enchiladas this Tuesday. So
you've got a bit of a theme
Mexican,
going.
Mexican Tuesday theme. Unintentional.
Sounds good though.
What about yourself? How are you?
Yeah, no, it's been really good.
Yeah, great.
Oh, I haven't had dinner though.
That does it. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
You haven't had dinner?
No, not yet.
Yeah, I've been wondering, wondering if this thing's on because, we keep throwing out our email and keep not getting anything. So the email, I think we need to put it at the beginning.
Oh, put it at the beginning.
The email.
You think people will get?
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is when probably we may have already missed the window. Oh. People may have already tuned out.
Yeah, that's fair. Get the email.
Like and subscribe. The email, vacuousperspective@mail.com.
Just check the emails.
Well, it's been a pleasure.
But I just checked the emails just then.
Oh, you just checked the emails?
I just checked the emails just then.
Tell me there's some love.
Nothing.
All right. Well, that's good because I've got no time for that. I've got too many things.
That's right.
Got too many things on my plate. Do you want to know some of the things on my plate?
Yeah, man. What's on your plate at the moment?
Because it's been 2 weeks.
Has it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I have to delve back into my treasure trove of things I wanted to talk to you about.
Of course.
Grace, what have I got here?
It's just banking up as well.
It has been banking up. There is too much. There is actually too much here. All right. So what I've got is just waiting for this article to load. This gave me a lot of interest. You may have seen it around. Have you seen a picture of the sun smiling?
The sun smiling.
Yeah, not like a little cartoon that we all drew when we were 5, but an actual proper picture of the sun, and it looks like it's smiling.
How?
Let me send you the picture. Can I just drag it into...
Surely.
Discord?
Oh, I found it.
Yeah, okay. So you got a smiley sun, right?
Yeah, I've got the smiley sun.
It looks so beautiful and happy, doesn't it?
It does. Very jolly.
Very jolly. This is on the 28th of October.
What am I dealing with here? Are these like storms? Should we be concerned with this?
We should be concerned. So it looks happy. That's sort of where I was going with it. But this article says, don't be fooled by its cheery appearance. That face is spewing vast streams of solar wind that could trigger a solar storm here on Earth.
Yes. But it's smiling.
But it's happy about it. Looks very content. Yeah, so apparently the dark patches are coronal holes.
That doesn't sound good. Is the sun meant to have coronal holes?
I think it happens.
Obviously.
It's looking right at us at the moment.
Is it?
Yeah. That's like the direction, because obviously, unless we have something in space, that's looking right at us.
I will say this: if it was like a straight out of the Marvel McCoo cinematic universe, if it was like a very demonic head that was perfectly like, it looked CGI. Like, let's just say it looked like a modern action film, and that's what the sun looked like all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'd be a bit scared, right? But happy face, the happy face thing it's got going on, the cartoony happy face, hiding this crazy solar wind thing, it's a bit unassuming.
Man, I'm with you. Regions of open magnetic field line structures that allow solar wind to readily escape instead of looping back on themselves. Torrents of solar material can surge out of coronal holes at speed up to 1.8 million miles an hour, which is 2.9 million kilometers an hour.
Which is what? Is that, I know it's not the speed of light, right?
No,
It's not
no,
that fast.
no. I think it takes like about a day to get to Earth.
Mm.
But although that speed, I don't know if it slows down as I don't know
Yeah,
anything
maybe
about it
we
other
might
than
have a bit of forewarning on this. Are they watching this thing pretty closely?
they are, but they say it's going to be, it could trigger a solar storm, but a bit of a mild one. But these are happening all the time.
Yeah.
More because I think it goes into it in this article. Yeah, the Earth is currently in the firing line of the trio of solar wind streams, which could hit our planet in the next few days.
Oh, in the next few days. So if
Next
you're
few
not
days. That was
listening
on the
to this,
28th.
yeah, well,
So we made it.
oh, well, you made it.
So it says it was, they've issued a G1 minor geomagnetic storm, the National Weather Service, the NOAA's National Weather Service. A G1 magnetic storm has the potential to cause minor fluctuations in power grids and increase auroral activity at the poles.
That doesn't sound that bad. Let's have a bit of that.
Yeah, that
Bit
sounds,
of oral at the poles. Is that what you said? Is
bit of oral at the poles.
that
Yeah.
what you said?
So it says, yeah. So we've just more extreme solar storms like the Carrington event, which we've gone into before. A colossal solar storm that occurred September 1859 disrupted telegraph services all over the world and triggered auroras so bright and powerful that they were visible as far south as the Bahamas.
Wow.
There you go.
I've come around to the idea of nuking the smiley face sun. What do we think about that? We'll fix it. It'll fix it.
Fix it. It might get it. Might sort of stimulate more activity in that region. Do you think?
Yeah, and then it'll rejoin, and then the solar winds can come back on themselves peacefully like they're meant to. We just nuke the sucker, right?
You do know that even the biggest nuclear bomb we could possibly imagine exploding on the sun would probably have a cooling effect.
Okay. Well, new idea then. Cool it down a bit more. Let's get it a bit chilled.
Well, this is also the thing. I've been banging on about this a while. I've been getting very excited about the sun because solar activity is expected to ramp up as the sun moves towards the most active phase of its roughly 11-year-long solar cycle. It's
11-year-long solar cycle.
Yeah, it's got a cycle.
Oh, I didn't know the sun had a cycle. I thought it just smiled at us
Occasionally.
creepily, like a Ghostbuster ghost.
It does look like the Ghostbuster ghost.
It looks like a Ghostbuster ghost, yeah.
And it's predicted to reach solar maximum, the period of maximum activity, in 2025.
Okay.
So it's coming around. It's coming around. That's something to look forward to. Another one to put in the calendar.
Sure, 2025, the sun does weird shit. What happens at the start of the cycle? Because it's going to go back to the start of the cycle, right?
Well, it goes up. So it goes 11 years of increasing solar activity, then 11 years of decreasing solar activity. So I think maybe 11-year-long solar cycle means it goes from a peak to a trough to a peak in 11 years. So maybe it's the whole. That would make sense actually. That's a cycle.
All right, so watch out for that one. Hey, this is weird. This is a weird one. Speaking of nukes, how old were you in 1995?
About 9.
Yeah, so you were 9 years old.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you would have had any hot takes on nuclear testing back then?
As a 9-year-old?
Yeah, was that in your consciousness, in your brain?
No, I don't know when it was. Probably year 12.
Yeah, see, none of that, right? But apparently something must have happened in 1995, and it did. I did a bit of digging. There was a French president. He was a multiple-time president, multiple-time prime minister, and something like the 18-year mayor of Paris, right?
Okay.
And he's quite a famous politician, right? And his name was Jacques Chirac, right?
Very fancy name.
And he was pretty adamant on nuclear testing in the Pacific, right? And the people were like, why are we doing this? This is kind of dumb, right? Yeah. But it all sort of became about because France somehow became the fourth nuclear power in the world in the early part of mid part of the century, right? And so long story short, my brother's in town. He actually attended a reunion, a high school reunion.
Yeah.
And so cranking out the yearbooks, having a look at all the weird shit in the yearbooks, right?
Yeah.
And I came across something from earlier than high school, primary school, in fact, of one of my brother's year, doing a bit of a hot take on nuclear testing, French nuclear testing in the South Pacific during 1995.
So in 95 they did
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So
In
they were
95.
like 11.
Yeah, well, no, they were 1 year older than us.
1 year, 10.
Yeah,
Wow.
they're 10-year-olds.
Did they mention Jacques Chirac?
Some of them did. Yeah,
Wow.
some of them called him out.
What'd they say about him?
Oh man, you're gonna love some of these because you got to picture who's writing it, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's a good one to start with? I think nuclear testing is bad because it kills sea creatures and people.
There's all those
Compelling.
those nukes
That is compelling.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they can kill people, can't they? They certainly can.
Yes, absolutely.
Not the ones that are
and sea creatures.
And sea creatures.
I think they were really focused on the South Pacific part of it, where it was like this is where they're blowing them up in the ocean, I guess.
Look, something's got to die when you detonate a nuke. Something's got to go.
Yeah, but that's the reason why this person says it's bad.
Yeah,
because of its effects, which is a fair enough thing to say.
Yes.
Here's a good one. I think nuclear testing is dumb. Oh, that's pretty hot. I think nuclear testing is dumb because they can buy the results from America, who has already done the tests.
That is pretty accurate.
And it's actually historically accurate in the sense that like America didn't help France build their nuclear arsenal. They
didn't they?
Yeah. It's an interesting little part of the nuclear history of France, which I don't know much about.
They are very pro-nuclear, aren't they?
Well, they were the fourth nuclear power, so that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
I think they don't mind a nuclear power plant now.
Oh, a nuclear power plant. That's where it began because they built nuclear power plants and they said, well, surely we should be building nukes as well, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it happened. Here's a super hot take. This is first on the bill. It's first one on the page. Don't believe the French because they are a bad influence to other countries. They've already killed and destroyed other people's lives, homes, wives, and children. Oh. It's really not fair. I mean, how would they feel if their cities and their own lives would be destroyed?
Whew. Yeah, heavy. Are they English?
I don't know. But the French are getting a really bad rap for having a nuclear testing program from these kids, right? They're going for the jugular, yeah? Hey, here's another hot take.
Who is their teacher?
Oh,
that's good on them.
No,
at least they're thinking for them about it at least a little bit.
My brother explained it to me because they were doing behind the news that year, so they were all up in sort of being student journalists and stuff. They were loving that sort of thing at the time.
Yeah, okay.
Here's one, very hot. If France wants to do nuclear testing, why don't they do it in Jacques Chirac's backyard?
Wow, burn.
Yeah.
Cop that.
Yeah, and this person, similar vein, why don't the French do nuclear testing underneath the Eiffel Tower?
Oh.
Yeah, there's a good spot for it. Pricks. Do it in your own country, there's a bit of that.
Yeah, okay.
There's a bit of people doing that.
Yeah, I can see that.
And this is my brother's hot take. Are you ready for this?
Oh, yes. Okay, please.
I think nuclear tests are good for scientists to learn things, but not for the whole world to suffer just because scientists want to know information.
It's great. That's fantastic.
And my absolute favourite, well, let's say the favourite for last, right? If blackjack, which I assume is a term for Jacques Chirac, right? They call him blackjack. If blackjack can't do the tests in his own country, don't do it at all. Why spend all that money making the tests when they can build a new resort in a test-free environment? Oh, it's great. And So yeah, they had some pretty hot takes on the whole nuclear testing thing. I was completely oblivious to it because our year group would have done something completely different that year.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I'm impressed. I'm
Yeah, good
impressed.
on them. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And in your brother as well for going against the grain. Everyone was clearly hating on it. Someone got in their ear and they all decided together that nuclear testing is bad. And then Brody comes through, or your brother comes through with nuclear testing is good, but
Yeah. People shouldn't have to suffer just because scientists want to know information.
Interesting. I just sent you a map of all the nuclear power plants in France.
Where to?
Just Discord pictures.
Okay.
They're pretty keen on them. Absolutely littered.
You need to. I think you need to press enter on that picture.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Oh yeah, cool. Yeah, they've got a few, don't they?
Certainly do. I knew they were pretty keen on nuclear power. They're at the forefront of that kind of.
What's our nuclear power situation like?
We just refuse to get on board. It's just.
But we've got uranium.
I know. We just sell it. We just export it.
Yep. Get rid of it. Bring it back when it's done. Is that what we do? Ship it back when it's done. Take it. Put it back.
Yeah, we'll need a bit of uranium back when we get our nuclear powered subs.
Not really, right? They just plonk it in at the start and they turn it on and they go, cool, there's your nuclear powered sub.
Oh, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you don't fill it up with plutonium. It just goes.
It just goes.
Yeah, it just goes. It's got a lifespan. It goes.
Did you see US's new B-21 Raider stealth bomber?
No, is it? What is it? What do you mean it's their new? Is it
the
brand
US Air Force, brand new, unveiling it
straight out of the box?
2 December at some private invitation-only event. They're unveiling it.
Yeah.
Quote,
big deal?
The most advanced. It is a big deal, I think. It reminds me a little bit of Northrop Grumman's. What was that plane off Top Gun? The one that featured in the first in the first scene of the new Top Gun movie.
Oh,
yeah,
it's the S-72 or whatever.
The Dark Star, yeah, the S-72 Dark Star. But this is actually built, ready to go. It's it's hitting the skies in 1 month officially.
Crazy.
It's also Northrop Grumman, but yeah, so it's a B-21 Raider. Yeah, it's quoted to be Raider, like the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
A Raider. Raider.
Raider.
Not radar.
No.
English language is dumb. All right, yeah, go on.
Little is known, I'm just quoting from an article I've released. Little is known about the capabilities or configuration of the B-21. What little has been publicly disclosed, according to the USAF fact sheet, is that the B-21 will be capable of crewed and uncrewed flight and will be able to carry and deploy both conventional and nuclear weapons.
Oh my god. Mm-hmm. So this is the successor to the B-52s and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This is the new way of delivery.
Yeah, they got 6 of them apparently in various stages of assembly. Yeah,
they're spaceships.
And military officials have yet to announce firm target dates. What does that mean? Target dates? Oh, for the first flights.
Okay. Yeah, right.
Yeah, but you can go on and look at you can go on the US Air Force website and check out the stats and things, a little bit of information about it.
Jeez.
Average unit procurement cost based in 2010 dollars. Here, I also got 2019 dollars because these things are in production for some time.
Yes.
639 million.
Is that all?
For one.
Oh, for one?
Yeah.
I thought that was like the development costs.
That's the average
unit
procurement. So I got 6 of them in development. So I guess the total at the moment is 6 times 600. So that's like nearly $4 billion.
Yeah. But
And they're going to have a
They're not really
minimum.
using these things, right? Are they? Are
I
they?
don't know. They will. They're going to have a minimum of 100 aircraft.
Oh, that's
Why
good.
do you need
That
100
makes me feel so safe, man.
stealth bombers that are capable of deploying nuclear weapons? It's terrifying, isn't it?
It's just numbers, isn't it? It's maths.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's pretty cool. So maybe on 2 December we can, actually get a photo of it.
I'd argue this is scarier than the sun things.
Yeah, because it's like its function. The sun's function is not to spew out solar material aiming at Earth,
No, it's just
but
trying to
it
get a
can
smile
happen.
on.
It's just trying to get a smile on.
Yeah.
Whereas these things, like it's not like defensive capabilities. They're not going to intercept an asteroid. Do you know what I mean?
You know what I hope?
What?
I hope that the aliens do come. They're hostile, and we smash them because we've been at war the whole time. We've somehow developed. You know what I mean? The constant one-upmanship of military had got us to a point where, like,
Yeah.
they go deploy the 200 atomic bombers. You know what I mean? And then we all go,
And they're
oh,
just
man.
overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with our military capabilities.
Mm.
They're like still at the maybe you're right. Maybe they don't fight, and so
They're
they never really
interstellar.
develop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't carry all that, right? Whatever. I don't know what it is.
Maybe they won't be ready for our aggression.
The aggression, yeah. Maybe they'll come in peace and we'll murder them. It's a possibility. It's a possibility, right?
Yeah, we'll try to murder them.
Yeah.
And then if we can't murder them, then we might be friends.
Yeah, you just need Bill Pullman to get a big speech on. Tell him that it's Independence Day or whatever. Shoot him straight in the laser. Yeah.
Another thing on the desk is a new species of native bee has been found in WA.
Native bee?
Yeah.
New species? How'd they get
New species of bee. It's got a dog-like snout.
that? Okay.
Let me see if I can send you this one as well.
Oh, I should be able to find it. What, new BWA?
Yeah. Lovingham. New native bee species with a dog-like snout has been discovered in Perth bushland of WA.
Yeah, I see it.
Named the new species after her pet dog Zephyr, after noticing a protruding part of the insect's face looks similar to a dog's snout.
Similar. Yeah.
The name also acknowledges the role her dog played in providing emotional support during her PhD.
Well done.
So it's called Laoproctus Zephyr.
We've got new bees. This is good, right? Is that a good thing? Do we want new bees? Or do we want the
Apparently,
old
it's
bees?
just like identifying new bees. I think new bees is always good, but they found a sample in she went through the archives, the bee archives. So somewhere there's all these
Yeah.
bees like that they keep. She went through and started having a rummage around for something that looked similar, and they had a species that's been collected with this dog-like snout back in '79,
Yeah.
but it hadn't been scientifically described.
Hasn't been scientifically described.
No, so
Who
she
described it?
got the
Oh,
well,
she
she
got-
did. I don't think anyone went to the effort of doing whatever scientists do about sort of
Oh my God.
documenting it officially.
Yeah, right.
So someone was sleeping on the job back in the day. They could have named it after their dog or their girlfriend or
Yeah, they botched
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
Have you ever done an insect collection thing at all?
I've burnt them with a magnifying glass.
Oh, that's not what I'm talking about.
And I've also, with my friend
Well, I've
in
done that as
primary
well, to be
school.
fair.
Yeah, not really. I've probably done it, but don't feel
sure.
good about it.
Surely.
I used to collect, used to catch butterflies in primary school, and then keep them in my sharpener.
In your sharpener?
Well, it was a little container in my desk.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, you release them after. You catch them at recess, release them at lunch.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
trauma.
I remember one of my mates, Frank, caught a a cricket and like a butterfly, and he put them both in the sharpener. And I was like, mate, this is I was sort of panicking. I didn't like
Yeah.
the I didn't like them being in there together.
Yeah.
I don't know who. Presumably, the butterfly's weaker, right? Surely, I don't know what the cricket does with the butterfly in that situation. But when we opened it later on in the day, the butterfly's wings were gone.
Oh my God.
So it was just kind of like a little worm.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was pretty traumatic.
And the cricket.
No, he was still there. I don't know I don't know if he ate them or.
Oh God.
Don't crickets eat plants?
It's terrifying.
That's what Frank kept telling me. He was like, man,
You put
crickets
them
don't
in a
eat.
dark
Crickets
room
don't eat.
together
Yeah.
to fight to the death.
Well, they didn't have to fight.
No, but they thought they did. They must have thought they did. Oh, that's so crazy.
What were you
No,
saying before
my
I
bug
started?
story is a bit different, but nowhere near as good or traumatic. But me and a friend of mine, we had a biology assignment, which was to collect bugs for a bug collection display, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And we waited till the last day to do it, of course,
Yeah.
and realized that that season was over and all the insects were gone. There were none.
Oh.
We went down to the lake near his place.
Yeah.
Nothing. Not a bug.
Couldn't
We-
find a bug.
We invested all of our thing into, don't worry, tomorrow's going to be fine because we're going to go to that park and it's just going to be like a smorgasbord of test samples. Don't worry about it.
You couldn't find a bug.
Not one. So the reason why it jolted my memory is because I was looking at that article of the bee, and I found a bee on a windowsill at my house. So that was one. Had that.
Well, a dead bee.
Dead bee.
Yeah, just the carcass of a bee. Yes.
Yep. Put that in the collection, and found one other bug. I couldn't tell you what it was. Don't know what it was. Handed in the assignment. Got like 2 out of 50 for the assignment, with some very stern comments from the biology teacher, and failed that semester of biology based off
It's
that.
not your fault you couldn't find and kill any bugs.
Nah, but like it's a great thing to put into the assignment is that if you try and do this at the last minute, you will not find anything.
Mm.
So it's to catch people like me who waited till the last day and then we'll smash
Right.
this. We'll smash this out. We went out and we were just in shock. Even if we pulled together the bugs that we got from the park into one assignment and said, dude, I'm going to zero this. You're going to, one of us needs to pass this, this assignment. We still had 0.
Oh, well. Don't leave it to the last day, kids.
There's a lesson there somewhere. I don't know what it is. Don't do biology.
I did an assignment with 2 of my friends in year 10 or 11 English on, we called it the, what's the word? The unexplained kind of thing. It'll come to me. It's like the unexplained. It's sort of like paranormal type activity. But we just did things. We just kind of, made up things, lit things on fire, pretended to be ghosts, things like that. And
What, in a class talk or what?
Yeah, we had to show the video in
Oh, so you made a video. You made a video. Yep, classic.
I've still got the video, and I can't watch it. I can't watch it. It'll be too painful.
It will be.
It'll be too embarrassing.
It's fine. Watch it.
Oh no, I'm having flashbacks.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Watch it.
So bad.
No, you'll be fine. Because that was my entire.
I can't even think about it.
That was my entire strat through high school, right?
Yeah, it's fine when it's someone else though.
No, as in make videos. That's all I did for every assignment. The teachers started to figure that out,
and they're great.
Yeah, but that was all I did, right? If the teacher for the biology thing said don't do a bug collection, do a video, I would have aced it. But anyway, doesn't matter. Forget that. Don't do biology.
A video on bugs.
Yeah, do a video on bugs. I don't know how it would have done it. There was no bugs.
That bee could have been a special thing. You should have.
It could have been the one.
Could have been the one. Could be a new
Could have been a new
species.
one.
Yeah, you could have gotten 5 out of 50 or 2 out of 50 for your assignment, but little did the teacher know, if only she had done her research or his research, that you had discovered a new
bee.
bee.
But what happened with this English assignment? You had the things that were on fire. You were pretending to be a ghost. What else? What happens?
Well, they didn't kick us out of school.
So you passed. You did it.
Must have passed, but
I think they
with
were just
the-
impressed by the
we-
use of technology.
we were in. I think it was a handheld camera with a tape, actually does the tape. One of the things we did was we got a teddy bear. This sounds kind of psycho I know how it's going to sound.
Yeah. Go on.
And it was in his garage, and we put petrol on, just a little bit of petrol on the teddy bear.
Yeah, whose teddy bear?
I think it was mine.
Yeah. Okay, we're torching teddy bears in your
was
backyard, in your garage.
I remember it was a blue and a really bright blue and a green. It was a silly thing.
Yeah.
I had a lot of teddy bears when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Obviously didn't really care for this one. I was ready to sacrifice it for the greater good.
Which was?
Passing English.
It was a sacrifice.
It was a sacrifice. And so put a little bit of petrol on there. Don't know where we got petrol from. We shouldn't have been at home without unsupervised. It was Goobatron, Goobatron.
Yeah.
And Obiri.
Okay.
Obiri's house.
Okay.
And with a little petrol on it, and then we lit the teddy up. And this was spontaneous human combustion. This is what we were depicting in our paranormal activity segment. We did a number of segments. This one was spontaneous human combustion, but it really was just us lighting this thing on fire. And then we had to. It was burning great, and we thought it was great. It had quite a good height of flame.
Filming it? You're filming it?
Filming
oh
it.
My God.
I still got
great.
this.
Yeah.
And then after, a couple minutes, you're like, well, we'd better put this thing out. It's got quite a good flame going, and it's kind of, maybe it's toxic fumes or something. It was inside a garage. So we get the hose, and we're drenching this thing, and then the water seeps out of the bear onto the floor in a big pool, and the petrol sits on top of it, and now you've got a puddle that's alight.
Okay, great. Here we go. Now the water's on fire.
The water's on fire and moving towards other things in the garage.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it was very stressful at that point. Started to really, when things start going sideways and you have that feeling like this could go horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were having that.
Yeah, you would have been. And you passed English, right?
I'm surprised they didn't call the police after they saw that video.
Yeah, so that's what I was just thinking. Is they're watching the video in the class now. That was really interesting.
Because we didn't know how to edit it, so I know that it has the whole thing on there.
So yeah, they're like, your parents were there when you were lighting the teddy bear on fire. Did your parents know about the video? Did your parents see the video?
Don't know. Doubt it.
That's great.
Look, I got another article, and can nuclear energy? We don't need it. So Brody, your brother was right.
Get rid of the nukes.
Get rid of the nukes, because we got something else.
What have we got? We got new power.
Catch headline: beaming clean energy from space.
Here we fucking go. Why are we doing that already?
How good does that sound?
Sounds
Caltech's
great.
extraordinary and unprecedented project.
Where are we getting energy from?
Okay. This is what I got here. Technology capable of collecting solar power in space and beaming it to Earth to provide a global supply of clean and affordable energy was once considered science fiction. Now it's moving closer to reality. Through a space-based solar power project, SSPP, the Californian Institute of Technology. Oh, that's Caltech. I always hear people say Caltech. I didn't know what California Institute of Technology Researchers is working to deploy a constellation of modular spacecraft that collect sunlight, transforming to electricity, then wisely transmit electricity wherever it is needed. How good does that sound?
Yeah, right. How are we wirelessly transmitting power all of a sudden?
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you asked because that's what I thought. Okay,
Well,
I
that's
know
that's that's the
the
big
answer's
what,
in
like,
here.
if you thought about wireless power, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, so if I put my phone on this little platform, it charges wireless power." Then if you go, "Oh, but what about a distance of a couple of meters?" Oh, it gets a bit difficult. Then you're talking from space.
Yeah, I freaked out a little bit when I could just put my phone on the pad and it would charge.
Hmm.
That was a bit game changing in my brain for
Mm.
how electricity works.
Yeah.
You know, like I thought you physically have to have a connection with metal, and in my mind, the electrons are all flowing through the metal into the device, the battery, and storing, and then you're using those
Yeah. Just
electrons,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? It's like it's like in my mind, it's like water, but you need the pipes to connect to transmit to pump the water, and then like you just put it on the pad. I thought they were selling me some like bullshit when they said that they wireless charging pad. I was like, it's $120. I was like, you can't get this futuristic bullshit for $120. They're selling me, this is going to be garbage, or it's going to be slow, or it's not going to
Mm.
work.
Mm.
Yeah, it blew me away. Okay, so harnessing solar power in space relies on breakthrough advances in three main areas. The first one's basically ultralight, high efficiency photovoltaics. So that's the materials that convert light and electricity that are optimized for space conditions and compatible with an integrated modular power conversion and transmission system. And this is the thing you were talking about. Okay, so this team is developing the low cost and lightweight technology needed to convert direct current power to radio frequency power, which is
What
used to
the
transmit
fuck?
cell phone signals, for example, and
Yeah.
send it to Earth as microwaves. The
Sending power
process,
via microwaves?
yes, the process is safe,
That's some
apparently.
Nikola Tesla shit.
It is. Non ionizing radiation at the surface is significantly less harmful than standing in the sun. In addition, the system could be quickly shut down in the event of damage or malfunction.
Yeah, but imagine if the whole planet relied on these space stations for power. And then we're thinking, well, how much would it take for the grid to go down?
Not much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you still need some backup nuclear power plants and things.
Mm.
You still need the terrestrial systems, don't you?
You sort of do.
As some kind of like base load backup. Because if
Just
you
back up, just
outsource
back
all
up.
this
Turn it
stuff
on and
into
off.
yeah, you need it. You need it. This isn't going to replace that, but
If we had to switch it on for a year every 30 years, that'd be all right.
if you're going to colonize another planet, surely you don't build power plants. You just have these things orbiting and beaming the electricity down, right? I know that you're relying on those being up, but
Yeah, maybe
if
for
you
the moon. Maybe for the moon. How good
yeah,
would that be? That'd be
yeah.
great. It's closer. Get it done. Shoot the drones up. I'm surprised it's not done already.
Yeah,
So
so
has this technology been? Are they testing this now, or have they
I
done it?
think I think they're working on it, on those components, but it's supported by more than $100 million in funding, and a test launch of prototypes into space is happening in December.
Okay. Wow. Here we fucking go. That is pretty
Yeah,
exciting.
I thought that was interesting. You mentioned the moon before.
Yeah, it's meant to be all blood moon tonight, right? Lunar eclipse. Is that right?
Yeah, it is supposed to be. I don't know if we caught much of it though. I think you need to be in
No,
New
no, no. We
Zealand.
cop it. It's like right now.
Yeah, right. I should
It is
go
right
look.
now. Yeah. Um, I couldn't see it.
I
I
don't
went
think
out
we
there.
get it as good as other places in the world. I think we get a watered down version.
Why is that? Angle of
Um,
the dangle.
yeah, I don't know. I saw like some kind of illustration showing
The
where
path.
in the world
Mm.
cops the
Mm.
full blood moon, and we get some kind of watered down
No,
version. But I don't know in
no,
what way.
no. My mum texted me a picture from tonight. It's
Yeah.
definitely like a red moon.
It might be the degree of like redness or something like that. That I don't
Sure.
know. I
Or
don't
like
know
maybe
how
it's
it's
just
watered
the
down.
best spot to look at it
Yeah,
from a viewing perspective.
yeah. Or maybe it's like how long it's visible for, or something. I don't know. But yeah, you're talking about the moon. I saw something on the BBC.
Mm.
There's like annoying articles that are like kind of like picture articles. It's only in pictures, kind of thing. It's not like I like things all in words. Anyway, so I couldn't print it off or anything, but from memory, it was saying that one of the first successful bits of fake news, laugh, I can hear you growling, was in, I think, and I'm going to, again, you will have to fact check me on this. In 1835, someone decided to make an article. I don't know if they were trolling or what their motivation was for doing this. But they released an article in the scientific journal. I don't know how they got it in the scientific journal. And it said that we've now got telescopes power enough. We've been having a look at the moon, and there are batmen, like human bats, small little human-sized bats.
Yep.
There are beavers that can walk on their back legs, giant beavers.
Wow. On the moon.
And something else. I can't remember what. And then what happens? The New York Times got the quoted things from the article, the scientific journal, and posted them front page of the paper. And then all the other newspapers around the world got onto this.
Sure.
Apparently in New York, 90% of the population, by some estimates, believed that there were man bats, a population of 4 million animals on the moon, consisting of man bats, giant beavers, and unicorns was the other one. Unicorns.
No wonder. Wow. Amazing.
I'd never heard this. So the moon hoax, apparently it was huge.
In
terms of people just believed it.
But what year was this? I'm seeing some pretty old years. Yeah, 1835 fake news about we've got a telescope. It's powerful enough to look at the moon. We're seeing bat people
everyone,
out there.
and there was all these like caricatures of the characters that exist on the moon, the types of animals, and they sort of one of the ways they justified this is, there's animals on Earth, and of course there'll be animals on the other planets.
Sure,
they don't know any better.
There would have been some people who were like, "No, these are angels, right? These are
Probably
beings from the heavens." Surely,
probably, yeah. I don't know how religious people would take to the unicorns, the giant beavers, and the Batmen. I'd never heard of that before, but I like it.
Oh well, they're probably there. If you're looking at this depiction, it's like there's a waterfall there, like trees and shit. They got horses.
It's a waterfall.
They got horses and ibis.
What's an ibis?
Unicorns. It's an ibis.
Oh, okay.
There was just more than one of them.
Oh, ibis.
No, that's fascinating.
I haven't really seen too many of the depictions. I saw a couple.
No. Then you need to look at this one. Let me send you this. I'll put it in general. How about that?
Yeah.
You need to see this picture. It's quite. If this is how the New York Times portrayed the moon and its inhabitants. So you've got a fleet of Batmen in the middle, like straight from the what it was, the 60s Batman version, the 1960s. You got a fleet of them coming out. You got trees, you got palm trees, unicorns, giraffes.
Yeah, you got some titty in there.
Horses.
Got some bat woman titty.
You got some boobs. And you've got these on the left here, sort of this very classic demon kind of imagery, or sort of angel or fallen angel kind of vibe. It's good stuff. Have you ever seen a movie, The Man from Earth? You ever heard of that one?
No.
You should watch it. Let's call it homework.
Okay.
I was
Tell me something about it without.
I was subjected to this movie against my will, and it's sort of like The Ring. I have to pass it on, otherwise
So it's
cursed
classed
forever or
as
whatever.
a horror
No, no, no,
or
no,
a
no, 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 no.
suspense or something?
Nope, nothing like that. I just felt the need to pass it on to somebody against their will.
Oh, okay. So is it The Man from Earth?
It's called The Man from Earth, and it's about a bloke who says he's 14,000 years old.
Okay. And he's always been from Earth because he's from Earth, so he's been on Earth the whole time.
Whole time.
What a wild ride!
Seen some shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So what do you know about 14,000 year ago man? We know a bit, right? What were they up to? What were they doing?
14,000 years ago. Well, it's debatable. Where does he? Where do they say he was hanging out? Where did he spend most of his time?
So saying he was I don't want to give away too much there. I wouldn't mind what you think about this movie. We could come back and talk about it next time. But I think it wouldn't really. He's sort of a Cro-Magnon, right?
Well, I hope he checks out Egypt at some point in the early days.
Oh yeah, but he was around for a long time. So no, watch the movie and we'll come back and talk about it another time.
Yeah, it sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a bit of fun.
A bit more fun is I'm just working through some of the things of interest to me. I think you'd like this one. Astronomers have discovered a gas giant planet with the density of a marshmallow.
How big's this planet we're talking? The density of a marshmallow. I'm not doing a good job of imagining this because all I can imagine is setting foot on the surface and it being a bit spongy. Yeah. That's all I got. Is it a marshmallow core? Is it a marshmallow? Are the trees made of marshmallow? Is it marshmallow water? I don't know. What are we talking about here?
It's okay. Let me give you a little bit about it. Blah blah blah. Okay. They've discovered a gas giant planet. So that's like Jupiter's a gas giant, with density of a marshmallow, orbiting a cool red dwarf star located 580 light years from Earth.
It's not that far.
It's not really that far. It's pretty close. The Jupiter-like exoplanet is the lowest density world ever observed orbiting a red dwarf. But yeah, orbiting a red dwarf. Give me the lowest density world ever observed, period.
Aren't we going to have like better numbers on this soon as well?
Yeah, we're going to be getting this data is going to be streaming in now. So it's dubbed TOI 3757b.
It's a good name for it. I think it suits it.
So it does its whole orbit around this red dwarf in 3.5 Earth days. So it does its whole, so a year is 3.5 days. So it's bigger than Jupiter. So it's got a diameter of 150,000 kilometers, but it has a density of 1/4 of Jupiter, and it's 85 Earths. But that sounds like a lot, 85 Earths. But when its diameter is 150,000 kilometers, the diameter of Earth is, oh, geez, that's testing me. A lot less. How about that?
It's so hard though because you're comparing it to densities of other planets and they're like Jupiter and stuff.
I know. It says it's 1/4 the density of water. It's half as dense as Saturn, which is the lowest density planet in our solar system. So yeah, look, I just like that it has a density of a marshmallow. I like that description.
He's got a marshmallow on his desk. He's trying to think of something. He's got the marshmallow.
I want someone, a scientist, come forward and say that they've found a planet with the density of an enchilada.
Yeah. Yep.
I think that would really grab headlines. Everyone would be like, whoa. What the fuck's the density of an enchilada? And how does this relate? Like you'd clickbait that for sure.
Yeah. and then it'll be full of sort of actual science stuff, like, slightly larger than Jupiter. You're like, where's the enchilada stuff? Like, I
Yeah.
still need to know is if I put my foot on the surface of the marshmallow planet, does it feel like a marshmallow? No one. Are we doing that?
Hey, we are next time we talk, Artemis 1 would have lifted off.
Wow, they're doing the launch, are they? Is it happening?
Yeah,
I
it's
sort
happening. Yep.
of forgot about it.
Yeah, no, it's they've rolled it out. They've rolled it out into its position.
Yep.
Apparently, it's just sitting there.
Good. That's what it's meant to do, right?
Yeah, and it's supposed to lift off November 14.
That's my birthday.
Ah, there you go. Happy birthday. Maybe for your birthday, we can sneak you aboard.
Let's go. So they're launching. They're taking what? This is a manned mission.
No,
this is the unmanned.
Yeah,
this is the unmanned flyby.
Yeah, this is the test run. This is the dry run.
Dry run.
Well, I'm pretty sure this one.
No cats on board.
No cats. I'll pop a cat on. Put at least one cat. We need to make sure that.
What are we talking? Are we talking live stream? Are they going to have a live stream in the cockpit? Are we going to be with this? Are we going to be able to watch this live?
Definitely.
For the whole thing?
Do you remember that they were
I'd tune in for the flyby. I would tune in for that flyby. I would be all up in it.
Do you remember for the launch that was scheduled for, what was it, early October?
Yeah.
It got moved and it was scheduled to occur on a long weekend in America.
That's yeah. Yep.
And they were estimating 400,000 people attending to see the launch.
Yeah, of course. And then they had to can it.
And they had to can it.
They had to can it, so what are you going to do? They're like, no, launch it. We came all this way. Come on, press the button already. They're like, no, we can't do that.
And like we were talking about the launcher, which is that SLS rocket for this one. But for the manned missions, it's that Starship. It's SpaceX's Starship.
They're using a different ship. What's the testing then?
I don't understand.
What are they testing? Surely you'd be testing.
Let me tell you,
everything but the people.
That's what I thought. But let's just focus on Starship for a moment, because that's doing its first ever. So SpaceX's Starship. It is doing
Starfish.
its first ever orbital test flight next month. So it hasn't. No Starship prototype has done a flight since May 21. And it's going into space for the first time. And this is the one that NASA's picked to do the first crewed lunar lander for the Artemis program.
Right. So a lot's riding on this launch.
Yeah, and there's no one else can do this. So this is the only provider, and NASA's picked them.
Yeah, they've got the contract.
They got the contract, but apparently they've only got it for Artemis 3 and Artemis 4, but they're leaving their options open for Artemis 5. If anyone else puts up their hand.
Otherwise, what? Starshipping it?
Otherwise, they're Starshipping it. They're apparently looking for a second vendor.
Yeah, of course. Competition. Just trying to show Elon, like, come on, someone else can do this, right?
You can't have Twitter and SpaceX and Tesla and PayPal, although he sold that. Whatever else he has, the flamethrower business.
The boring company.
Yeah.
He can do all those things because he actually is. Isn't that?
Yeah, he's nutty. I don't know what to think about how Twitter's going to go. I'm sure it'll be fine. There's a lot of talk that he's ruining it, that he paid too much, but I reckon he's a smart cookie. He'll do something with it.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
Do you remember, what's her name? Jasmine Walker. Does that name ring a bell?
No.
She's the sexploration woman from the Perth
The
Now.
community newspaper.
Yeah, the community newspaper girl.
Right.
I came across another article actually
Oh, by her.
by her.
Wow.
I read 2 lines and put it aside
For now.
for now.
Yeah.
I had to put this aside.
Okay.
It starts off with, I can't believe that there's 2 columns of this.
Is there a headline?
No, it just says sexploration.
Oh, it's a segment.
It's a segment with Jasmine Walker. She's not in the paper all the time. I have a look out for this now. I have a little flick. It's a weekly paper. She's not always in there.
Yep.
Okay, I'll read it to you and we can
Yeah.
just chime in. Over the weekend, so this is what I've read. Over the weekend, I was hanging out the washing, color coordinating the pegs, and I realized I'm yet to write about pegging.
Oh my God. Okay.
Have you ever heard of pegging? I haven't.
Sure.
But I'm willing to find out. It says, I know, I find inspiration in the strangest places. For those unfamiliar, pegging is when someone without a penis penetrates someone with a penis from behind, something that returned to the spotlight a few months ago when salacious rumors were circulated about Prince William's predilection for the act. That's where I stopped.
Wow.
Because I was like, there's a lot to unpack in that.
Mm.
What's this rumors about Prince William? This is published in the paper.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that.
That is a salacious rumor. That's one of the most salacious rumors I've heard in a while. And just for it to be tucked away in Perth Now.
Hmm.
Okay. The term has nothing to do with the pronged plastics used to dry our clothes. It was coined in 2001 by sex columnist Dan Savage and his listeners when he asked people to vote on a term to describe this act between a hetero man and a woman. And just to clarify, pegging is when someone without a penis penetrates someone with a penis from behind.
Mm.
I'm told pegging feels good for some because it directly stimulates the prostate gland. And one study found that pegging can be a massive turn on for cis hetero men because it breaks with society's message of masculinity and can be a fantasy for a partner. But if pegging sounds like your worst nightmare, do something else.
Okay.
It's pretty heavy for, she's really going places.
Yeah, and there's a warning on the article.
Well, it says parental guidance at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That does it. When I was a kid, if I saw something that said parental guidance recommended, I would immediately fetch my parents to make sure that they viewed the content that I was watching.
Oh, definitely.
Hey,
definitely.
What's the first?
You wouldn't just start reading something that wasn't for your eyes. No.
Oh, no, definitely not. If it said parental guidance, I would, like I said, immediately rush to. I would stop, first of all, stop reading it, stop watching it, grab my parents and say, "Hey, I'm watching this, and it says that you should be here." So, yeah.
What if there was parental advisory warning?
I'd have to get them because it's advisory to them, isn't it? It's not for me.
So you let them know they can make the final call?
Yeah. I'll probably say watch it first and then let me know if I should watch it.
If you're intrigued, read on. If you've read my columns, you'll know I'm no fan of fools rushing in. So take your time with this one. We want lots of foreplay, dirty talk, and priming of that rosebud with a little lubricated finger play.
Okay. So she's done this? Okay.
Well, she's taken her time. She's taken her time and and now she's there, I assume. While strap-ons, in brackets, which you wear and attach a dildo to, close brackets, are typical for pegging. You can start simple and try using a dildo with plenty of lube.
Okay, yeah.
There are 3 kinds of lube on the market: water, silicone, and oil. So remember that if you're using lube with a dildo, use a water-based lube and use plenty of it.
Okay.
Communication is always vital, so check in regularly. You want to go slow, and when things heat up, be mindful of the intensity of the thrusting of the toy and the angle and depths. It should be pleasurable, not painful.
All right.
The end.
Yeah. Writing note. Oh, that's it.
That's it.
Hoi.
I know. But how's dropping Prince William in there early on? That's
Pretty good, man.
that certainly. Let's get me asking questions.
Oh, there's salacious rumors.
Prince William pegging.
That's a good thing to have in your search
The
history.
Prince of Wales was dubbed the Prince of Pegging.
Yeah.
After,
It also says disclaimer reads, this account does not claim any information published is based in fact.
Maybe they can't prove it.
Searches for pegging went up 400% after a salacious rumor started circulating about Prince William's alleged sexual predilections.
And is that the Rolling Stone?
Yeah, that's the Stone one.
Yeah. Prince of Pegging. Okay. Wow. Man, you'd be spewing if this rumor starts. Like, how do you defend yourself from a rumor, like a wild rumor like that? You'd just be like,
Well, it depends. If it's true, you could just say, yes, it's true.
Yeah.
And it's none of your fucking business.
I'm more saying if it's not true.
Oh, if it's not true, you're bummed. Why are people talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah. What he did is he told 5 people 5 different weird sex things in confidence that he does, right? He told 5 friends. One he said, I'm into pegging. The next one, something else. They're all different to try and catch the spy who's spreading rumors, right? So when it comes out in the paper that he's the Prince of Pegging, he knows that it was Jerry or whatever who did it, who leaked it.
Or you, as soon as a salacious rumor like this comes out, because say you are into pegging and you know it's about to hit the press.
Yeah.
You get he's got connections in the media. You get someone else to leak a story about you loving monkey sex. Sex with
why?
monkeys.
Why would you do that?
No, because what you're trying to do is muddy the waters, right? So now they're like, oh, yeah, one article says he's into pegging, the other one says he fucks monkeys. Yeah, you can't believe anything these days.
Yeah.
You get it
That's
out
the
there.
old Ricky Gervais joke when he says, when they're talking about AIDS, he's like, you either ate him or you fucked him. And he's like, I ate him.
Hey, what happened? Did you see what happened to Katy Perry? Have you seen any news about Katy Perry in the last couple of weeks?
No, is she okay? Should I send her some bucks?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know if she's okay. There's a video. You have to find it.
Oh,
so
what happened?
She's at like, I don't know if it's the end of a song. It's about a 15-second video, and she's standing there sort of looking at the crowd just being, holding a pose.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her eyelids shuts.
Yeah.
Right? And it looks so unnatural. She starts tapping at her sort of temple to kind of like, I don't know, get her eyelid moving again.
Yeah.
And it pops open.
Yeah.
But it just looks so unnatural and unhuman.
I can see it.
It's fucking weird, man.
She's just got like an eye closing problem.
What do you mean an eye closing problem?
Like,
what do you mean by that?
Maybe the makeup stuck to itself or something.
Maybe it's fucking weird because
it is very
I haven't
weird.
seen anything like that before.
Yeah, no, that is. Hang on, I'm watching someone in the crowd do the video.
Like I can't even.
Oh, okay.
I can't even wink.
Okay.
Using muscles. It's like.
And
Do you know what I mean? Like when I win,
she's pulling on her skin to open her mouth, to open her eyes. Sorry. Interesting.
it just looks so creepy. I
Okay,
can't.
so what are we concluding here? Is she a
Well,
robot?
she's either a robot, like
Right, she's a robot.
a crab
Everybody,
person,
crab person is
or
next.
I think she may be one of those Batman people from the moon.
Right, so that's three, and I don't think there's any point in thinking about any other possibilities. It's got to be one of those.
What do you think out of those
People are
three?
saying her clone was glitching, so she's presumably got a bunch of these, so she can perform multiple public outings at the same time, even though people know she's only in one place at one time. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Or she's got clones who do her gigs for her, and she just sits at home on the Xbox or whatever, playing video games, and she's got her clone out there doing God's work.
Well, could we get to the point, because we're digital, once there's enough input about what we talk about and our mannerisms and things, won't we just be able to get our robots to talk for an hour and a half
Possibly.
aimlessly like we do now? So we've outsourced it and we don't have to do it?
That's quite possible, isn't it?
Have you heard of Jasper AI?
No, I haven't heard of that one. What's that?
One of my marketing mates was telling me that it's a thing that people use to generate blog posts for websites. Because you need lots of content. You need to be generating lots of content, but it takes time to write an article or to write like a coherent sentence. All you do is you pop in like bullet points, like, oh, I want to talk about dress hire. I want to talk about these new style of dresses, things like that, and the AI comes in and starts like I don't know how it does it, like eating up information online. And churning it out, and it writes you blog posts. It just it fills out more. It just puts more information in there.
Amazing, crazy. That's
apparently they're all using it. All the marketing guys are like, yeah, you have to do this.
Yeah.
To generate more because now that you've got that active content on your website, Google now starts its little creeper bot thing, detects new material, and it scans it, and then it thinks now when people search for things, it's like, oh, we've got new content on this might be what you're looking for, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
And because if your website doesn't regularly update its content, it starts to assume that it's just like a dying website and it deprioritizes how often it doesn't think people are looking for your thing because it's now old. It will prioritize something that's come up recently because they're like, hey, this is a November 2022 thing about dress or whatever.
Interesting. It's fascinating.
Very fascinating.
AI is popping off, man.
AI is popping off. It's really popping off. I'm going to get that Jasper AI thing, see how it goes. I'll let you know.
Okay.
And now that we've talked about it, you'll be copying ads for it because, I swear someone just mentioned it to me. All of a sudden, every second ad on
I've seen
Facebook.
it pop up a fair bit.
Yeah, they love a good advertisement.
Yeah, no, they're into it. No, there's so much AI stuff happening. It's hard to know like which ones to actually get involved in. I got a friend of mine who just he's in the know about this stuff.
Yeah,
tells me to sign up for like, betas and stuff, gives me like, it's really good stuff. But it's really time consuming. It's quite difficult. And then once you've got it all set up, I guess it's easier. But yeah, fascinating. Interested to see how many episodes of the pod we'd need before it could clone us.
Yeah, you think a lot, hey?
Don't know. Yeah, actually have no idea. It probably just gets more high fidelity over time. Better.
Yeah, we could probably be improved upon, I reckon.
Oh, yeah. You reckon it would do a pretty good job?
Yeah, I reckon.
Wow. Probably right.
I was listening to Dr. Phil on Joe Rogan.
Okay.
Have you listened to any of that one?
No, Dr. Phil, as in the guy who tells you what your problem is in a way that sounds like he just solved your problem.
How so? Wait, say that
Okay,
again.
so what he does is you'll say your problem.
Yeah.
He'll say, he'll go, what's the problem? And he'll say, like, I drink too much or something, right? And Dr. Phil will go, you know what you need to do? You need to stop drinking so much. And the guy's like, oh, fuck, that's a good idea. Shit.
It's great.
So all he's doing is pointing out the problem. He says the problem again in a way that sounds like he just solved it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's where the pausation comes in, isn't it? It's like the emphasis. He's
I
like
think it might have
emphasizing
been.
different words.
I think it might have been the leg up he got from Oprah, but I don't know. I have no idea.
Did he get a leg up from Oprah? Did he?
I think he was like Oprah's doctor guy until Dr. Phil spawned his own show.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I don't know. I think that's memory banks talking. Yeah, okay. He rose to fame with appearances on the Oprah Winfrey Show in the late 90s. Oprah Winfrey then helped McGraw to launch his own program, Dr. Phil, in September 2002.
His last name's McGraw.
Phil McGraw.
I see why he didn't go with Dr. McGraw.
Yeah. Dr. Phil sounds way better.
He said something, well, Joe Rogan said it, but they were obviously having a conversation. Something that I didn't know and sort of blew me away. And then Phil started fleshing it out. But the fact, and I don't know if this is true, but this is what they said, that, do you know what fentanyl is?
Yeah, it's a drug, right?
Yeah, it's a drug, like killing a lot of people. I know it's a bad one. It's cheap, and they lace, like when you get drugs that are done poorly, they often like lace it with fentanyl because it's really cheap and gets you high. So there's an incentive for drug producers to use fentanyl rather than whatever you're actually trying to buy. But fentanyl now is this is the stat, I don't know if it's true, is the number one cause of death of Americans aged between 18 and 49 in America.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
And then what I liked about Dr. Phil is he got my conspiracy juices going.
Yeah, what did he say?
He says, and I knew that fentanyl's synthetic, but all fentanyl is synthesized in China. Mm-hmm. They send it to a cartel in presumably Mexico or somewhere South America, and the pills work their way into America.
Interesting. And
it's the number one cause of death of Americans between 18 and 49. The number one. So
yeah,
apparently some of the drug enforcement agents are saying that it's a straight up terrorist attack. That because the you don't, as a drug dealer, you don't want to be killing your customers. It's not a good business model.
Sure.
Because firstly, you get a bad rep. They're not going to come back and buy more. You don't want that. You want them coming back day in, day out the rest of their life. They were saying that 40% of the pills in this batch of a huge amount was estimated to have a lethal dose of fentanyl in it.
Wow.
It's 50 times stronger than heroin, 100 times stronger than morphine.
Okay.
And so if it doesn't kill you, you're addicted. And you'll keep coming back, and eventually you're going to die.
Fucking hell. Radio. Okay. Writing this down.
Pretty nutty. I was like, Mr. Phil, Dr. Phil, yeah, you're getting me going here.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
You weren't expecting that from the guy from. You weren't expecting that from the guy from the Oprah Winfrey Show, Dr. Phil. Yeah. Okay.
It's fascinating, but it kind of made a lot of sense as well, like from a conspiracy type angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that really kind of. I was pretty happy about that. Did you watch the Melbourne Cup?
Sort of, yeah. I mean, it was around, yeah.
Yeah, it was around. I couldn't give a shit about it. I
Yeah.
watched it.
Yeah.
I find it funny that I watch a horse race. I don't watch horses racing all year, and then you see them all running
Yeah,
around.
the whole race that stops a nation thing with the whole there was a game of cricket that was happening in the 90s, and I don't know if Steve Waugh or Mark Waugh was at the crease, but he told the story of how he had to they stopped play to watch it on the big screen in the stadium. They stopped
Really?
the game of cricket. Anyway,
Yeah.
horses
Okay.
horses running
I
around.
didn't know they did that, but yeah. Um, do you reckon the horses know how serious it is what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that they give them a good chat to beforehand. They let them know, look, it's the Melbourne Cup. It's the big times. Don't fuck it up. Break a leg. Have a great time.
Do
We're
you
going to
think they
celebrate
know the
immensely.
consequences of if like I'm just saying if I knew that if I broke a leg
Mm,
that I would die,
mm.
I probably wouldn't be going for runs as much as I do. I certainly wouldn't be sprinting in a big pack of people.
No, that sounds like a surefire way to break your leg.
Yeah, I'd be playing it careful. I don't think they know. They're really sort of they're walking a fine line, a dangerous fine line.
They're running it at full pelt with the dude on their
Mm,
backs whipping them.
mm. Yeah, it's funny. People really get up in arms. Like, yeah, you have a few, woke people at work that are, I don't know,
What,
against it.
anti-Melbourne Cup?
Yeah, and I get it. I mean, I'm not for it either.
You know what? I'm not for it, right?
But
I'm not for it.
I'm not for it, but I also appreciate that things move quite slowly, and that it's a cultural phenomena that it's embedded. I'm not saying it's going to be here forever,
No.
but you can't just overnight go, no one's horse racing. The whole industry's dead. All these, it's a gradual thing, and I get
I
it.
understand, but I just think if we could get, a couple more horses shot in the head, you know? What, is the race over? No. Oh, I didn't get to see a horse get shot in the head with a shotgun.
So you reckon they should televise that?
Um, no, definitely
No,
not.
no.
Um, no, no, but that's what I would say to people who are really into it, who really love it. I'd just be like, yeah, my favorite part's the bit where if the horse breaks his leg, they go bang. That's my favorite bit. And then they go, oh, that's terrible. And you're like, of course it's terrible. That's what I'm saying. It's terrible.
I mean,
Don't,
there's so many things that are terrible. Like
sure.
it's it's not
Once we
great.
get the
Like it's
machines,
not great.
plug them into
It's
the
not great.
horses, right? Once we can get the machines to plug them in, right?
Mm.
Talk to the horses, talk to our animals, our pets. Ask them, do they want to do it? And if the answer's no, we got to respect them.
Well, you have to explain the risks to them.
No, you'd say, hey, this thing that we've been doing for the whole time? They go, yep. Do you like that? And they go, not really. And
I
they go,
think they do
okay.
like it. I think they do like it though.
They would love running, surely.
They
Yeah,
would
they
love
would.
it. Yeah, yeah.
But
But Luffingham just loves running fast. Like you go down to the big open space of the park, and he'll just run everywhere. He'll run
yeah,
and sniff, and run and do a poo. Like
yeah,
there'll be
yeah,
bits of
yeah, yeah.
walking in between, but he doesn't. He's not fucking around when he's there. He likes running, loves it.
Sure, sure.
And
And
I don't.
if
I'll
he
be
broke
honest.
his
I
leg,
don't
he's
go
probably going to be
outside.
okay.
Like I go for a run,
Mm.
but I don't. Like if I need to go. Like if I'm walking down the street, I don't just need to just go like whoop and
Yeah.
start.
Oh, I'm just picturing his excited face running as fast as he can. And you
No,
said he gets a bit of pace.
oh, he's fast, man. He's such a heffalump. He's very
Mm.
fast.
Mm.
I was watching this. Don't know why I clicked it, but It was a YouTube video about a pyramid in Antarctica.
Here we go.
Yeah, I was like, all right, what do you got? What have you got going for me in Antarctica? Is a satellite image of something that
Mm.
looked like a pyramid. Okay, and it just was so non-compelling. I was not compelled.
Yeah. Okay.
I was not compelled because also, if there was anything to it, don't you just go out to the site and like get a sample? Because half of it was exposed.
Is it like in a mountain?
I don't know, sort of like yeah, from a satellite image, and when you put a little, like yeah, they put a square along the thing, and they go, "Oh, it's 2 kilometer by 2 kilometer
Sure.
base."
Sure.
I was like, "Yeah, it kind of looks like a pyramid, but don't you just isn't that so easily verifiable?"
Yeah.
I
I
would have
mean,
thought that's what
I
they
agree.
didn't really go any further with it,
Go check it out.
but it reminded me. One reason I clicked it is, and I wanted to
It
actually
looks like
read.
the surrounding mountains, by the way. So
Yeah,
anyway.
it wasn't very compelling, and they just went on. It was only a 6 minute video, and then they just like went nowhere with it. But one reason I clicked it is there's that book, that Graham Hancock book.
Mm.
Uh, it's not Fingerprints of the Gods. It's like Magicians something or other.
Supernatural. Then there's,
There's
I think that's a newer one, right?
there's one Magicians. Wait,
He's got a Netflix special coming out in a week.
really?
Yep, and he's going on Joe Rogan in about 4 days, so that you can look
Oh,
forward to that, man.
can't wait. Love it.
Yeah.
It's called Magicians of the Gods.
Yep.
And the beginning of that book, man, read the first chapter. It's so
Okay.
good.
I'll
It's
check it
really
out.
good.
Yeah. Cool.
It's about, and I'm going to butcher it. I said one day I wanted to reread it and actually explain it, but essentially that there's an old map that was like it was found in the 1600s, but it's it was a, I think it's around the, I can't remember, it's called the Pierese map or something like that.
Okay. What's it got
And
on it?
it's got, well, anyway, no one argues the authenticity of the map, but there's a part of it that has a bit of a continent. They don't really know where it why it's there. But anyway, long and short of it is it like they didn't really understand what it was because we didn't have the there's obviously Antarctica is covered with a big ice sheet and
Yep.
has been covered for tens of thousands of I don't know, millions, at least tens of thousands of years.
Mm.
And so we don't actually know where the coast is until very recently when we were able to do sonar and detect through the ice where rock is
Sure.
and so they could verify where the coast is if all the ice melts.
Yes.
Sure enough, on this map, which everyone agrees is an authentic map,
Mm.
is the exact coastline of Antarctica.
Amazing.
So the question is, well, really, the question is, he phrased a lot better. I would, but how the fuck does it like? Was the map created when Antarctica did not have an ice covering,
Mm.
or did they somehow have the? And no one we haven't even had the navigational skills to get down there. Like it's fascinating. Read that first chapter because that is a genuine.
I'm looking at the map now. I can't tell. Am I looking at the left-hand side, which would be Antarctica?
I think it's the bottom. I can't recall. I think it's the bottom section of it. But they even have. He got an email from the US, basically, like the, the the military unit of the US that deals with
Mm.
like geography, and they say that is a depiction of the Antarctic coastline in their
Mm.
opinion, but they don't make any comment as to obviously how they would possibly have that.
Wow.
But they admit they're like that is
Yeah.
verified.
Oh, as the northern coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
it was just like such a fascinating little bit of Like,
Yeah,
because
wow.
that map, although it dates from around, I think it was written on deer skin or something. But what they do
Mhm.
is that is a composite image. The way they used to do is they get maps from around the world because no one had been to South America and Europe and Antarctica, right? But they get maps, they
Yeah,
find
they
maps
clip them
from like,
together.
other people, and then they put them, they sort of like put them on there, like they sort
Yeah.
of depict, or they sort of bring them together. It's like a collage where they go, oh, this is what we understand. Or, but it's not, that one map wasn't done by any one person, of course, because they can't get around like that back then.
Mhm.
But they will compile the map from the various sources that they come across.
Yeah.
And so that was compiled from a source, and you're like, where was that source? What is that?
Interesting.
But yeah, the
So
pyramid was
someone could
underwhelming.
have gone down there in a very ancient time, potentially.
Potentially.
I like it.
So Graham Hancock's got a series coming out. You
Yeah,
said,
on Netflix.
oh, it's gonna be so good.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
man. We'll have to watch it.
Oh, we'll do a
And
full review.
yeah, we'll watch it. Ancient Apocalypse was what it's called. Um,
There's a lot of really good evidence stacking up for, like the Younger Dryas impact theory.
that's what it's going to be about. Yeah.
There's a lot of good evidence, like almost irrefutable evidence. I think to the point that there's a bit of a sea change. In terms of, when you're writing the history books and you sort of have to rejig the dates a bit. There seems to be, I mean, I'm not an academic on this, and Graham gets attacked a lot, it seems, but I think we're coming around.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yep.
Look, I am.
We just keep finding stuff that gets older and older. So you have to push the civilization date back. You have to.
Yeah, yes. Göbekli Tepe,
Yeah.
really,
So
that was the dagger.
it's our boy, the man from Earth, the one that the movie you're going to watch, right?
Oh, really?
It's 14,000 years, right? So
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was
okay.
around.
Yeah.
He's kicking about.
Because what was Göbekli Tepe? It was like 8,000 BC,
I thought it was
12,000?
so. It's 14,000 years ago. So that's
Like 12,000 BC.
12,000 BC.
Hmm.
It's a lot of years.
That sounds exhausting. And so we watched the League of Legends Worlds on the weekend
We
together.
did.
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, a banger game.
We can give
Um,
spoilers, right? We can spoil the whole thing,
yeah, man.
can't
So,
we?
well,
Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
I don't think anyone's going to be listening to this right now that actually gives a fuck. So,
Yeah.
game 5. Went
Game
to a game
5.
5 in a
Yeah,
best of
right.
5.
And they got it. Fuck.
They got it.
The underdogs
Notable
got
moments.
it, we should say. Yeah.
Yeah, the underdogs. Yeah, DRX.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I think they said no team outside of the top fourth seed and below have ever won the championship.
Yeah, never even made it to finals because you have to go through the play-in games for starters to play in. When you finish 4th seed, you're not even in Worlds when the competition starts. You have to finish top 2 in a group of 6, and they're all like wild card entries from random places. So they played their way through that. And then they beat a team. They beat the number 1 team in Korea in the
With
semi-final.
apparently the best player in the world ever, the
Well,
GOAT.
The
He
GOAT.
is the GOAT.
That
He is
was
the
in the
GOAT.
final. They beat SKT, the number 2 team in Korea, with the GOAT. But to get to the final, they had to beat the number 1 team, the number 1 ranked team that they had lost 8. They'd never beaten.
Yeah,
They'd
never
never
beaten
beaten in a single game, and they beat them in a best of 5.
It's amazing. And it was exciting because they weren't winning the last game. Like, it wasn't wrapped up early. They
No.
actually had to fight for it, and it was pretty gnarly.
Well, they lost. They lost the Baron.
Huge. Huge.
SKT sniped it with an arrow, long distance sort of
That wasn't game
arrow.
5 though, right?
That was game
really,
5.
I thought that was game 4.
No, it sniped it in game 5. I'll rewatch parts of it.
Wow.
And that was they went for a 20-minute Baron, which would have been pretty brutal as well because you got no wave clear at that point.
True.
They sniped the Baron, and then ultimately, SKT got 2 Barons in that game and lost.
Aren't they called T1 now or something?
They got T1. So
yeah.
I can't. T1 got 2 Barons and lost the game.
Yeah, that's crazy. No, it was a great game. It's good to watch.
And then I think it's Carrier, the support for T1, was like sort of crying and shaking, violently shaking.
Yeah, I remember that. He was having a really rough trot with that. He's having a very hard time. And then people came over to console him. And I remember the team came over and gave the handshakes at the end. The opposing team sort of get together and do their sportsmanship thing. And he hugs him. One of them hugs him, and he's got him full hug. So he's in his shoulder, and he starts crying, like the hugger to this poor shivering kid who's also crying, starts crying with him.
Do you know the backstory to that?
Why they were both crying?
Yeah.
Why is that?
So Carrier, who is KT's support, was the support for Deft, and they've played a lot together. They wanted to win the championship together.
Yeah, everyone wants to.
And Carrier went to T1, being a more known name, and DRX came through from nowhere, and then Deft won in his final year. I'm pretty sure he's going to retire. Did the dream win, and Carrier now is on the outer and had the loss. So he's inconsolable.
But he tried his best. Everyone tried their best, and
everyone tried their best.
But good on him for trying. Well done. And then once he let him go, he started bawling his eyes out again. He started crying again.
And shaking. It didn't look all right. I think he's emotionally unstable.
He was having a very hard time.
Yeah, very hard time. And the cameraman was getting right in there.
Grill. Yeah.
Right in his face. They couldn't get enough of him. I was like, man, leave the guy alone.
No,
get a little bit. Get the heartbreak. Right?
Yeah.
Get that moment and then move on.
No, but that cameraman's probably got someone in his ear going, get tighter. Go closer, 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 closer.
Full shot. Feel the frame.
I want his tears on the lens. No, good job. And it was good to hang out, man.
Yeah. So it was as it was just now.
Email? Do you shoot the email?
Yep. vacuousperspective@mail.com.
That's the email address. Send us one of those. What's that?
Yeah, sorry, that's what you wanted, right? Yeah, you want the email. After I said the mail address, I was like, oh, you want snail mail? I was like, where are we sending snail mail?
Oh yeah, chuck it in.
Yeah, we'll give the snail mail address next week. We'll get a PO box organised.
Yeah, to whom it may concern at Vacuous Perspective, and then just chuck that thing in the post box. It'll be fine.
All right, thanks, man.
See you next week.